going on.
Thank you so much.
Pay like $1 million.
Shout out TMZ, you up?
Let me check out that rig.
TMZ stands for the Mayweather Zone.
How'd you find me, bro? I got my disguise on.
I love my TMZ family. Smoochie.
Welcome to TMZ Sports. I'm Mike Babcock with my guy, as always, Mojo Muhtadi. Mojo, we've got a bunch more on that explosive Shannon Sharpe rape lawsuit, including some brand new audio. But first, Mojo, we are going to start with the NFL draft, which is now finally, Mojo, after weeks and weeks and really months and months of talking and speculating and making mock drafts, we are finally less than a day away from the draft going down. For all intents and purposes, the Tennessee Titans are effectively on the clock, Mojo. Fine, doesn't happen until tomorrow, but they've got the first pick. Everybody thinks they know who the Titans are going to pick. They believe the Titans need a quarterback, and that means that they must be taking Cam Ward. But is that what they're going to do? And really, what's the advice to a team that literally has their pick of the litter here? They could have any player they want. Where do they go? Well, a guy who has been in this situation many, many times before, Mojo, the head coach on draft day is Jeff Fisher, who, of course, was the longtime coach of the Tennessee Titans, coached really the Houston Oilers. That's how long he was in Tennessee, Mojo. Houston Oilers, Tennessee Titans from 1995 all the way to 2010. And of course, was literally inches away from winning a Super Bowl. Mojo, we talked to Coach Fisher this week, and we asked him, we said, hey, what's the advice for the Titans and that number one pick and making sure they get this thing right?
Now, the question is and I've heard and you've heard and there's talk that this is not an exceptionally strong year for quarterbacks, but that doesn't mean to say that Cam's not the guy that the Titans are eyeballing. There's a lot of information that goes around. My advice is if you like a quarterback at one, take him. Doesn't just take him and make sure that obviously that's a franchise pick and have a plan to develop him. If you don't, then listen to what your options are as far as trading out of that first pick. Somebody may go up and look at a different position. And obviously, there's one out in Colorado that's a pretty good player that I understand is gotten a lot of attention.
Mojo, I think it's a crapshoot. It's a guess. The reality is, as great as these coaches and front office execs are at talent evaluation, nobody knows. You just don't know. And at the end of the day, it's a bit of a crapshoot, even if you've got the first pick.
Which is why I've always thought the NFL draft was totally overrated. I mean, look at the decisions that teams make every single year. They bet the entire farm on a single pick, trading up to get a single pick for a player that very often turns out to be a total bust that wasn't worth it whatsoever.
Yep.
So if you got a guy like Jeff Fisher and he's telling his old team, I don't know about this quarterback class. I'm not sure if it is up to par. Maybe that's something you want to take into consideration. Of course, the Tennessee Titans are taking this very seriously. It's the top of their priority, the top of the draft. I mean, this is going to dictate their team's future for years to come. Yeah. But if they don't love Cam Ward, if they don't love whoever it is that they're eyeballing, I always say, man, give that pick up. The amount of stuff you can get for a first overall pick, man, you're talking about first round picks for years to come. You're talking about trading for some of the best players in the league, quarterbacks included, guys that are there, that are established, that you have game tape on playing against the rest of the teams in the NFL. It's just, man, these teams make these monumental decisions based on the draft for these things to just totally fall apart and implode. So bottom line is this is massive currency they have, and they're on the clock, baby. They better do something quick.
Yeah, Mojo, the reality is that you make a good pick, and it could set your franchise up for the next 15 years. You could win multiple Super Bowls, and if it's the wrong side of the equation, the wrong side of the coin, the other side, you could set your team back on a path of loss after loss after loss for 4 or 5 seasons. Look at Peyton Manning versus Ryan Leaf. You had a furious debate about which player was better, who deserved the #1 pick. One of those players is a top 5 quarterback all time, and one is considered one of the biggest busts ever. Look at Josh Allen and the quarterbacks who were drafted ahead of him. Look at Patrick Mahomes. I mean, the reality is, again, nobody knows. We all think it's going to be Cam Ward. It's likely going to be Cam Ward. Is he a franchise quarterback? Is he a bust? We're not going to find out tomorrow. Stay tuned. Coming up next on TMZ Sports, we're sticking with the NFL draft. From the guy who is regarded by most as the best quarterback in the class to the player who regards himself as the best wide receiver in the class. We are talking to Arizona star Tetairoa McMillan. He don't want to hear about Travis Hunter because he says he's the best. That's next. All right, Mojo, we'll stick right here with the draft from a guy who many people think is the best quarterback in this class to the guy who himself thinks he is the best wide receiver. We're talking about Tetairoa McMillan, Mojo. He is the 22-year-old wide receiver out of Arizona. This guy, I mean, you want to talk about athleticism, Mojo, and a guy who has got a great physicalness, a great body, Mojo. The dude is 6'5". He's a wide receiver. A lot of people think that Travis Hunter, the Heisman Trophy winner, is the best wide receiver. McMillan, he ain't buying that, Mojo. We caught up with Tetairoa, Mojo, at a Raising Cane's restaurant in Green Bay, Wisconsin, where the draft is going down tomorrow night. And let's just say he's pretty high on himself.
Your life's going to change, obviously, in a little more than 24 hours. What are you most excited for about tomorrow there in Green Bay?
Oh, man, that's easy. Just hearing my name called, just finding out what jersey I get to put on.
Everybody's going to want to know where, and there's a lot of rumblings, a lot of rumors. Is there a spot that you want to go, or is it whoever wants you, you'll be happy to go catch passes for?
Hey, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, I don't pick them, they pick me. And I genuinely believe that wherever I end up, I'm supposed to be there. So regardless of who it is, I'm ready to go.
In your mind, are you the best receiver who doesn't play cornerback in this draft?
I'm the best receiver who plays cornerback and doesn't play cornerback.
There it is, Mojo. He said, and look, a lot of people think Travis Hunter, who obviously plays cornerback and wide receiver, they think he's going #2 to the Cleveland Browns, Mojo. That's probably going to happen. But I think Tetairoa says, hey, I'm better than Travis Hunter.
This is the confidence you got to project going into the draft, right? I mean, what's he going to say? I don't think I'm the best. I think there's other players better than me. I'm not a top pick. I'm somewhere in that mid to late first round range. Like, nobody's going to say that. So, of course, he's saying what he has to say. I will say a player like him probably genuinely believes that he is better than Travis Hunter. With all the media hype you get, the extra bonus of being a 2-position athlete, a lot of other players aren't going to necessarily agree with that. They're going to see a strong bias for a lot of different factors, and they're going to feel some type of way about it. But, this kid is an absolute beast. Looking past just these highlight reels that we're seeing, these, trick catches, which have just been insane. I mean, this is the dude that got it done on the field in a big way, especially at a school that isn't perennially one of the biggest and best programs in the country. So added bonus there. Look, some people are picking him high first, some all the way to the bottom of the first round. Good news is we'll know here within 24 hours probably.
Up next, the very latest on the rape allegations against Shannon Sharpe. More potentially damning audio between the accuser and the Pro Football Hall of Famer is coming your way next on TMZ Sports. Welcome back to TMZ Sports. Mike, Mojo, and Edward here. Guys, we told you yesterday that NFL Hall of Famer Shannon Sharpe is being sued by a woman that he at one time had a sexual relationship with. It's an explosive lawsuit where the football great is accused of raping this woman on multiple occasions. Now, yesterday we played for you an exclusive audio clip, a phone conversation that Shannon and his accuser had. And now today we've gotten our hands on a new audio clip where Shannon once again seems to physically threaten the woman. Take a listen.
Coming to LA tomorrow?
Yes.
Well, I don't know why you want to go out.
Don't worry about it, Daddy.
Well, I'm not really interested in getting choked, so I guess we're going.
Yeah. I might choke you in public. Big black guy chokes small white woman.
It's not a good look, Shannon.
Not a good look that you do what you did to me.
So yeah, as the accuser says in the clip, it's not a great look for Shannon, but according to Shannon's legal team, this is essentially how Shannon and his accuser talked. They sent out roughly, it's got to be close to 1,000 text messages on Tuesday that they say were sent from the accuser to Shannon. And in multiple of them, specifically one instance in general from October of 2023, the woman asked Shannon to be choked. In one specifically, she says, put a dog collar around my neck and choke me as we're engaging in intercourse. So Shannon's side of this is saying that merely this is the role and the nature of the conversations that these two had. They're saying that there was no sort of violent intentions, and merely this is what this woman asked for repeatedly, and that's why Shannon is seen and I guess heard using this language multiple times. So that's, I guess, where they're standing. I think the other criticism from Sharpe's camp towards Busby is, why was this being recorded? They would like to know why was she doing that? Because then they believe that plays into their narrative that she perhaps was setting up some kind of blackmail scheme against him and was recording him in situations where he didn't know he was being recorded. So it's so much he said, she said. Yeah. She's alleging that this crossed the line. He's alleging it didn't, and this was part of their nature. So we are at this point where everything somebody releases, the other side says, well, no, this is the way we see it. So I don't know where it goes from.
I know, and I think it's so hard, Ed, because you listen to it, and if you're listening to the way that the accuser has framed it, you say, okay, well, there he is. He's threatening to choke her. But then when you hear Shannon's attorney describe the nature of their relationship, if that's the way it actually was, then you say, okay, yeah, that might actually make sense too. I think, and you referenced those text messages, Ed, and Edward's absolutely right. I mean, just one of these documents that we got our hands on was 575 pages of text. So they have thousands of text messages. But in one of the instances, Ed, and tell me if I'm wrong here, because Edwards has been on top of this case the entire time, but there was a point in January where the accuser had alleged that Shannon did rape her. And one of the text messages seems to show, and we'll put part of it on the screen here, where she said to him, I don't care what our history is, no means no, Shannon. And it doesn't frankly matter how adventurous or freaky, whatever the word you want to use is for their sexual relationship. That does not give anybody a pass to then do whatever they want to do going forward. She always, as does Shannon, they always have the prerogative to say, hey, no, I don't consent to this right now. And it doesn't matter what happened in the past. So again, I think that message there could really prove to be crucial to her case, because she did seem to tell him, hey, Shannon, no, I had a problem with what just happened.
Yeah, and I mean, more of this is just coming to light by the day. I mean, we definitely have a he said, she said kind of situation, and I think it's probably going to be really easy for, maybe either party to highlight parts of the conversation to really delineate one side of this case very clearly. The frequency is something to take note. The fact that this is a relationship that has gone on for a long time, and after some of these text messages and phone calls, the conversations and the relationship continues. So of course Shannon's going to have that on his side. But man, when you pull out some of these isolated clips, it certainly works against him for sure. I mean, either way. And I mean, this isn't something that would necessarily hold in court if he's proven to be innocent. But man, when you're a star at that level, you just got to be on the lookout for this kind of thing. I mean, I know everyone has the things that they look for in their own private lives, but when you are someone that is that big of a name with that much money, it sucks, but you have to just assume that you're always going to have a target on your back, that you're always going to be filmed and photographed anytime you're out in public, anytime you're on the phone, anytime you're sending a text, because, you know, regardless of how this situation plays out in the end, I mean, this is evidence of that right there.
Yeah, Mojo, you know, he is as great of a football player as Shannon Sharpe was. I mean, he's had equally as great a career in the media, and he's got a lot of things, big things going for him right now. And you hear earlier Stephen A. Smith on Stephen's podcast say that, hey, I've spoken to the powers that be at ESPN and ABC, and that everything is on the table, meaning that it's very possible that Shannon Sharpe might not have his TV job. Then you also look at the podcast and some of the numbers that were being thrown around, upwards of $100 million potential contract. And you wonder to yourself now, hey, what happens to that deal? Is that still exists for him? So, I mean, this is potentially devastating to Shannon Sharpe's career. This thing is nowhere near over. Like we've said, it is moving fast and furiously. Stay tuned on this one. The Inside the NBA crew still joking around about Shaq's bathroom emergency earlier this week. When we come back, the Big Diesel gets a porta potty to make sure that it does not happen again. Stay with us.
Where can you see huge stars in Hollywood? No, not the planetarium, that's for nerds. We mean the TMZ Celebrity Tour, where we've seen huge stars like Kevin Hart, Rihanna, Ben Affleck, The Rock, Mark Wahlberg, Lizzo, Lady Gaga, Ryan Seacrest, and Jamie Foxx. You'll learn the secrets of the city and see Hollywood as only TMZ can show you. Buses depart daily from the Hard Rock Cafe in Hollywood, so head to TMZTour.com and book your tickets for the TMZ Celebrity Tour.
Welcome back to TMZ Sports, Mike and Mojo. You can see I'm already laughing, Mojo, because we're about to talk about Shaquille O'Neal. We know what happened on Monday's episode of Inside the NBA. The big fella had a big bathroom emergency, Mojo. Well, this was, mind you, this was mid-segment, guys talking about the games, Shaq doing a little shuffle to the bathroom. Well, Mojo, you know, first round of the NBA playoffs are in full swing here, and the guys were back at the desk Tuesday night. The producers were not going to let that happen again, Mojo. Let's just put it this way. They were prepared on Tuesday.
So Chuck's coming out for Inside the NBA. This casual stroll. Does not notice the porta potty.
I did not.
Over there. And then just before we decided, hey, let's keep it a secret until the start of the show.
I did not even notice. Hi, I'm blind, man.
Since you brought it up here.
Oh.
So you actually gonna use it now?
Oh, I hope not.
Oh my goodness. Anyway.
Last night, by the way, folks.
Oh.
This is what we've come to. This is what we've come to.
Shaq had the call of nature last night.
Do it again.
And just abruptly in the middle of a segment walked off. Okay.
Look at the tube, man.
Great, man.
Hey, you feel better?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So there was Shaq, Mojo, and the porta potty right next to his chair at the desk, and very convenient for Shaq. So, yeah, the producers had his back, Mojo. I will say they were not alone, Mojo. There is somebody else who is willing to do his part for the great Shaquille O'Neal, Mojo. I think you may recognize this guy a little bit. Watch this.
Shaq, I get it. Playoffs can be stressful, but not to worry. Leif Walschlager and the boys at Depend, we got your back. Next time, you won't even have to leave your desk. Remember, no leaks. Confidence peaks. Give him a call, see if we can get you a triple XL. I'm on it.
You got my cousin in on this now? That was great,
we have
man.
brought him into this.
I was going to talk about Shaq and how he doesn't lock the door to the porta potty, left it unlocked, how he was able to fit in that thing in the first place. But yeah, Lace said everything I needed to say. So ridiculous. If there's anyone that knows about adult diapers, it's definitely him on the face of the packaging. Surprised you didn't mention the Depend guards, the little extra absorbency liners for the inside, because I think with Shaq, he might need a little backup on top of just one set of Depend. He's a pretty big guy over there, but Lace got you on lock, Shaq. Give him a call anytime.
All right, Mojo, we are just about out of time. We got a good one tomorrow, though. Look, we've obviously talked a lot about the guys who are going to go at the top of the draft, the Cam Wards of this world. But not everybody is a number 1 overall pick. Not everybody's a first-round pick. That does not mean you cannot go on to have an absolutely historic and a legendary NFL career. Mojo, tomorrow we are going to speak with the great Warren Moon, who fans of a certain age may remember back in the 80s. Warren Moon was undrafted, not a first-round pick, not a second, third. No, Mojo, the guy wasn't picked by any team. Goes on to become one of the best quarterbacks that we have ever seen on a football field before, of course, is a Pro Football Hall of Famer. What's the advice to the guys who go at the top of the draft, Mojo? What's the advice to the guys who don't get drafted at all? We'll have that tomorrow and much more with the great Warren Moon. Mojo, going to be a great show.
That's right, baby. Getting another undrafted guy on the show, just like Mojo, who grew up to be co-host of TMZ Sports.
Yes, me too. Undrafted as well, Mojo.
That's right, Babcock. You were as well, all three of us, the whole team. And that right there will make tomorrow the best undrafted show since today.
I'm a lawyer.